the 6th of March 1927 in Aracataca in northern Colombia to Gabriel Garcia and Luisa Santiago Marquez, Gabriel Jose Garcia Marquez spent his childhood away from his parents and was raised by his maternal grandparents in a house filled with countless aunts.
Entonces yo vivía repartido entre esos dos mundos. El del abuelo, que era muy concreto y con el cual pasaba la mayor parte del día porque él me dedicaba muchas horas. Y el de las mujeres, que era un mundo que se compartía con el del abuelo, pero con el cual yo me quedaba solo de noche.
The 1930s was a very turbulent time for Aracataca because of the social oppression of masses by the conservative government. The violence all around him greatly affected his thought process. After graduation, he followed his parents' wishes and enrolled as a law student. Having absolutely no interest in law, he skipped classes and instead preferred to wander around the city aimlessly, read poetry, and smoke cigarettes. However, his life took an unexpected turn when he came across Kafka's The Metamorphosis.
Yo, desde que nací, sabía que iba a ser escritor. Quería ser escritor. Tenía la voluntad, la disposición, el ánimo y la aptitud para ser escritor. Siempre escribí, nunca pensé que pudiera hacer otra cosa. Nunca pensé que de eso pudiera vivir. Estaba dispuesto a morirme de hambre, pero ser escritor.
Most of my work is inspired by the time I spent with my grandparents.
His grandfather, a war veteran, would often tell long stories of the brutalities of war. He reiterated the fact that nothing weighs more than a dead man's body. This ideology found its way into all of his books. In contrast to his grandfather's rational nature, Gabo's grandmother introduced him to a world of mystical surrealism. She had a peculiar deadpan style of narration, which was later adopted in his own work as magical realism, that is, describing the most improbable as if it were an irrefutable truth.
Ese quieto, niño, deje de molestar, porque usted sabe que las ánimas salen y se lo van a llevar.
His first publication was a short story, The Third Resignation, in 1947, which was followed by his first novel, Leaf Storm.
It was January 4th, 1965. I just got into the car. And all of a sudden, I don't know why, I had this illumination on how to write the book. I had it so completely formed that right there I could have dictated the first chapter word by word to a typist. I stopped, took out the key and ran home. I locked myself in the room and I wrote for the next 18 months, smoking 6 packets a day. I told Mercedes, sell the car. We need money to support our family. Mercedes is my wife. I wrote and I wrote and I wrote until one day I had my dreams on paper. 100 years of solitude.
He later went on to win a Nobel Prize for the same in the year 1982.
Ahora que los ladros perran, ahora que los cantos gallan, ahora que al bando la tocas las altas suenas campanan, y que los ebusnos burran, y que los gorjeos pájaran, y que los gruños marranan, vengo a penarte mis cantas, ventano de tus debajas. Eso es de la literatura colombiana.
After the success of his first major book, he went to publish his most critically acclaimed book, Love in the Time of Cholera, which derived from the tragic comic love story of his own parents. In 1999, having been diagnosed with lymphatic cancer, he chose to pen down his memoirs in a book titled living to tell the tale, which was finally published in 2002.
Gabriel Garcia Marquez is one of the most important authors in today's world. Fantasy is not actually possible, but he tries to bring a touch of fantasy to a real life situation. Some of his, but though he's an author of magic realism, though his style is magic realism, his books have a lot of heavy political undercurrents. Gabriel Garcia Marquez is indeed an asset to the literature world.
Despite his writings being of another era, they managed to strike a chord with people of the present age, only proving that Gabriel Garcia Marquez is a writer whose works are timeless and whose style of writing will forever enthrall and amaze his readers.